This podcast is brought to you by the Texas Hill Country River region in Uvalde County. What's super unique about this area is that the Frio, Nueces, and Sabinal rivers are all located in the same county. It's like the hill country that you know and love, but really rural, so you're surrounded by wildlife. And life just kind of slows down out here, so you can enjoy the simple pleasures like campfires and fishing and just enjoying the company of the people that you love.
Go to visituvalde.com for more info. Buenos dias, everyone. This is the In Between Podcast, and we are your host. I am Jake.
And Leah.
Or AKA Chappie. And today we have two visitors who have been in the area for a few months now, correct?
Yes.
It's Amber and Julietta.
Julietta, yeah.
Julietta.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm going to get that right. So welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us today.
We feel honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're so excited y'all are here. First of all, I can't believe, well, you've met them. I can't believe I'm just now meeting you guys. You've been here for so long and I'm just now meeting you. Like, we could have been hanging out this whole time. Like, what the heck?
I met Amber. We did a little eclipse meeting here. I'm not sure if you were here. I'm sure you were here, but I don't know if you were like out and about.
No, I haven't met either of you yet, but I have to say every time when we first got into this town and we were going to our job and we saw your spot, our eyes we were so bright and we were like, what is that place? And we looked it up and we've been admiring your Instagram ever since then. So we're going to say that.
Thank you.
Beautiful art, beautiful property.
I would like to take credit, but it's all her.
And the artists we invite you. I have my limitations of like how artistic I can get. And then we have to have like actual artists come in to do the real art.
So you both are artists?
No, just her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was saying, I was being funny. I was being facetious by saying that, I'd like to take the credit for all the artsy stuff, but that's all her.
But I think that's a dream relationship, is for both people to be good at something different, and then you can come together in unity and create something beautiful. Julietta and I surely aren't good at the same things.
Yeah.
Who's what? Who's good at what?
Julietta does all of our editing. All of it.
I'm a little more like managerial and planning and video content ideas and the video editing, that part of it too. But a lot of content ideas, we work together on that.
And I'm more extroverted, outspoken, arranging things like we're doing right now. She would never want to. It's kind of a push that I push her to do this, and then we have a great time. So
and you're like more fun and silly, I feel like, too, because you work a lot. You work more on the Instagram side, the TikTok, all of that. And I think that one you can kind of be like very lively and any platform you can, of course. But with YouTube, we kind of do a little more like in-depth personal stuff.
And we've been together for 13 years, and just in life, we like to do different things. So for instance, she'll cook, I'll clean. Neither of us mind either, but it's a beautiful partnership. Just little things like that make life a seamless experience.
We should talk about who we are, maybe, huh?
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Yeah.
Because y'all are not from Concan.
No.
You just magically popped up here. How did that happen? Who are you? And how did you snap your fingers and you're here?
I know. We never would have ever dreamed. So I'm Amber, Julietta here. We are Honey I Roam. We have a YouTube channel that we've been focusing on for the past 2 years. A little bit of backstory is we both grew up in Florida until our early 20s. So luckily our families are both there. We met there and we were together for about 4 years, and then we decided to move to San Francisco. We didn't have a job, a house, nothing arranged, just a huge dream, a lot of willpower, and each other. So we drove out to San Francisco, started from the bottom, ended at the top. By the time we left, Julietta here was a property manager of 10 different properties in the city. I was a customer success manager at different tech companies in the tech world. And then after that was 8 years. So I was diagnosed with the autoimmune disease, and a lot of it was stress related. So I remember going to the doctor and him saying, well, here's a anxiety pill. Would you like that, or should you quit your job? So I said, okay, well, let's see what other direction we can go in life. That was 2 years ago, and that's when we bought our tiny camper. And we've been traveling the country ever since.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And when we were in San Francisco, we made a very conscious effort. We were like, okay, let's do 1 year of just saving. Like, let's save as much as we possibly can. Let's pay ourselves and be able to travel for as long as we can. So we were fortunate enough to be able to do that and just kind of live off of our savings.
But then we couldn't anymore, right? We didn't have any more savings.
And originally we were going to do, because this is 2019, so it was rolling around to 2020, and that's when COVID really was on the scene, you know, the pandemic was here, and we had been planning that year prior to go to Bali and Southeast Asia and do that for as long as we could. But we were really thinking 6 months, and then we would jump back into our respective industries and move back to Florida for good.
But that didn't happen.
That did not happen.
So that's not how we found Concan. How we did find Concan is...
It's on the road to it, though, really, when you think about it.
It's what we didn't do that gave us opportunity to explore our own country, where we would have left all of this undiscovered to us. So we started looking at Facebook groups. Facebook group called Work Camping with Wages, because we wanted a campsite with our tiny camper, but we also wanted to get paid because that was the whole goal of a job for us. We had really specific criteria. We needed to be able to bring our dog. We wanted somewhere that was laid back, beautiful, preferably privately owned, something magical in its own way. And we found Riverbend on the Frio, which is here in Concan, just 7 minutes from y'all. And whenever we met them, we had only had a 30-minute phone call with them. We had up and packed every single thing that we have, just with those dreams, huge dreams and lots of ambition and lots of faith. Yes. So when we met Robin and Wes, who are the owners of Riverbend on the Frio, we instantly connected. They got us set up in our spot, and we've been working there for the past 4 months. I've been running the front office, answering phone calls, reservations, working in the gift shop, as well as I took over all of their social media while we're here. So I'm on their Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, creating new content, reels, doing lots of research to see what's relevant, just like you guys. I'm so inspired by what you all do.
Very.
Yeah. And then Julietta is much more hands-on. So tell a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so I work the grounds a lot and various jobs around the properties, I'm sure, as you know, things that just need to be done and trees trimmed and stuff like that. And then just helping all of the campers and the customers and things that come up. And we live there. So we do live in our super tiny camper. When we say it's a tiny camper, it's not just like a 13-foot. It's a 6x8, maybe like 3.5 feet inside. It's very small. So we've been doing that for a while because we were really limited to having that because we could only tow so much with the current car, and we didn't really know what direction our life was going to go in. So
who would have thought a Jeep could only pull 1,000 pounds?
It's ridiculous.
Well, that's the case.
So we got really involved with this little tiny camper world, and it's a whole bunch of people who love to have just small little campers. We built it out as far as outdoors. We have a canopy with like a kind of a kitchen setup and a makeshift thing in the back of our Jeep to keep us comfortable right now. I mean, we're always looking to maybe do something different in the future because, you know, it has its struggles for sure. Yeah.
But we've created a real home out of it. We have our whole outdoor living room. And the thing we love about it is that we are outside most of the time. I feel like many RVers, which everybody does it exactly how they want. And I respect every single person's RV style. But with ours, we really did want to be outside in nature most of the time, cooking outside, sitting outside as our, you know, our recliners, which are chairs that recline a little bit, that someone left at the campground that we love. And we're just very resourceful, and we have learned to appreciate the minimal lifestyle more than we ever thought that we could.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my favorite time of my day is when I get up in the morning and I'm just like, I mean, not forced because it's what I want to do, but I think, you know, sometimes when you live in a house with everything in there, you tend to kind of stay in there, right? And be a little less, you know, connected to the outdoors, right? So I go outside and I sit outside and listen to the birds and wake up with the sun and have my coffee, and it's just such a peaceful way. I mean, I think the thing I love about Texas is I know y'all got some blistering hot summer afternoons. They're very unforgiving, but the mornings and the evenings stay really nice with very little bugs. Last summer we were in Florida for most of the summer, and it's
miserable.
It's you don't enjoy a nice morning cup of coffee. You're like, iced coffee, please.
I have a couple questions. Is Riverbend the first place that y'all kind of camped?
Camped.
Or just work camp, but you camped at other places with with y'all's trailer before Riverbend.
many places.
Okay.
This is the first place that we've been for an extended period of time. So 6 months. Everywhere else we would stay for no more than a week or so. And then it was Julietta's amazing work to find us the next place to go. So
Managerial, see? I love the planning of the camping too. Like there's something about getting good camping sites and being on the lookout for places like y'all's or Riverbend, you know, where you can find these little gems hidden that is like, oh, let me share this with other people, you know?
Yeah. So are y'all parked with the rest of the people who pay, or are y'all off to the side? Do y'all get to interact with the guests?
we're the first work campers they've ever had that are in the campground next to the best campsites in the park. They have some spots up on the hill where most work campers want 50 amp full hookup. Ours, we're only using 10 amps. So we use a 20 amp plug. We don't have full hookups. We don't even have any sort of a bathroom facility. So we're reliant on their luckily beautifully remodeled bathhouse. Yeah. So we're right in the mix. And it's kind of interesting because I don't know how much the campers like that because they don't know us right away. And they feel like the way that I feel that they feel is that we're snooping on them, that we're really, you know, checking in, seeing what you're doing wrong, or are you up past 10 p.m. outside, or we don't care about any of that. But I feel like since people have been coming for so long, they might feel a little more regulated than before.
Yeah, and it's not like that at all. We're there for like making their stay better, more comfortable, right? Emergencies, what have you. But there is very loyal people to Riverbend. There's been people who've been going there for 50 years every single year. It's amazing, really. So,
have not missed a year.
You know, when something's a little bit new or off, you know, I understand. But once we get to talking, they end up liking us.
Exactly.
They bring their guard down.
Yeah, exactly. They know what we're there for now.
Have y'all met some cool people, like different guests, or do you have like some favorite guests that you've met?
1,000%.
Absolutely.
We have met some incredible people. One group that stands out, they were luckily camping right across the way from us, and they love food. We are mega foodies.
Yes.
Love it. Do y'all
Same
love
here.
food?
Yes,
Love
absolutely.
food.
Yeah.
We love to eat out.
Yes.
Truth be
No,
told.
I like to cook too. I as much as I can. I'll try to cook.
Yeah.
But
We should cook for each other.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
And we can go out together too.
A big thing we do on our channel, the big thing we do on our channel is outdoor cooking, cast iron cooking, Dutch oven cooking, and stuff like that.
Oh, so you'll cook a meal and then post it on your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
We
cool.
love to do that stuff.
Yeah, I love watching those videos.
Yes. And we try to cook all local recipes with local ingredients. So out here, I love some of the recipes that Texas has. I don't know if it's specifically Concan, but you tell me things like King Ranch chicken. Never heard of that ever until we came here.
Yeah.
Chamoy. I think we saw the brand on yours, and I was like, "What's that?" And we have been eating chamoy every single day, but of course, just the store bought stuff, the usual store bought. And I was like, "I want some real ingredient chamoy. I want the real deal." And you had posted that, and I was like, "We're getting it right now."
Yeah.
Let's
So
reach out to her.
They're called Crave Delights.
Crave Delights. They sell it at Andy's, and it's made in Del Rio,
Rio?
I think. So
Eagle Pass.
It's Eagle Pass, and it is the best chamoy that because we always use the store-bought kind, but there's, it's so good.
We owe you so much. We're so grateful for you for posting that because I didn't know really where to find it, and they're also amazing people.
Yeah, we
Super
reached out.
nice.
So they've been coming to Riverbend every 2 weeks and bringing deliveries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we made a video for them on YouTube as well as a reel and a short. We cut a watermelon in half and diced it up and then cut up a cucumber. And they also have, did you see the gummies that they have? They're chamoy gummies.
Obsessed.
Thank you so much.
So
That makes me so excited
Yeah.
because I just post things that I like because I like it, but it's always so good to hear when it benefits the people that that I'm posting because I don't get paid to post. I love their chamoy. I love what I love, and I post it, and so yay, they got yay.
You're making
good.
a difference. Yeah.
Oh, makes me
absolutely.
happy.
Yeah, and we love it so much. I eat so much chamoy now, and so many customers, because we have it right on the counter, so many customers ask about it and they buy it and it gets them hooked too. And I always say it's the sweetest couple. They hand make it. They put so much love into it. You got to try it. So thank you for sharing them with us.
I think the chamoy thing is probably a South Texas thing. And we just brought it over here.
Yeah.
Or we didn't bring that, but they've been here. We used it. Not that specific brand, but a different brand of chamoy on our mangonadas. I don't know that y'all were here when we had the mangonada bus open. We had it open last summer, but this summer we had to shut it down because we had this little one. And but we would put chamoy on the mangonada, and it's like a trifecta effect. You get the sweet and sour and savory all in one spoonful. So yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool. We'll have to come back and get some mangonadas from you guys.
Did y'all work the bus? Like you made them and everything?
We took it to River Bend a couple times. We would go on Saturday nights. We would take it to River Bend. Then we'd go to Camp Riverview. We'd go kind of all over town. But now Luna, by the way, the chirping in the background is Luna. She did not go down for a nap for this podcast, so we have her in the background.
She is the latest.
Yeah, she's the latest podcast guest. We have a new one, and
but we need to go back to the guests. We diverted the conversation. Sidetrack.
So they were at the campsite right across from us. They are a group of, we call them family, which are friends that you make your family. And they've been coming every year for, let's say, 36 years. And they love food, okay? So they come every year with a full kitchen. I'm talking a stove that's in your kitchen.
A regular kitchen stove and like 2 refrigerators, 2 full-size regular refrigerators, a barbecue pit. One of them is like a master barbecue guy. The brisket was like chef's kiss, just perfect.
2 deep freezers,
they fed
a
us so
smoker,
much.
and they would feed us all of our meals.
Oh my gosh, that's the best right there.
The best. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm talking.
Wow.
And so you really get to know people so well over a meal. And that's how we got to know them. And they were just lights in our life. And we met them at the very beginning. So that set our Riverbend on the Frio experience off really well, right?
Well, it makes you feel like you appreciate so much when you see the, people that are looking forward to this all year to, come to the Frio and hang out in this area. Is like, it makes you just be so much more appreciative.
For sure. That's definitely a testament to the people in the culture in Texas that has happened a lot for us here as well. Guests have brought us food so many times and we love it and we appreciate it. Sorry if we don't remember your name, but thank you if you ever see this. And we've had people, even while we were out with the bus, like along the river, people brought us food at those times too. It's just people are generous, and that's one way to be friendly and
Southern hospitality.
Yeah, food is love
at its finest. That's the perfect word.
It is. I bet that y'all can understand this, that it's so cool when people come out here because this is very rural compared to a lot of big cities. And for people to come out here, they really do want to unplug and they want to unwind and they don't want to be surrounded by all the technology that they're used to. So we just think it's really beautiful to have so many different guests who come to our campground, our RV park, stay in our cabins, as well as your beautiful cabins here, who want to get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. You don't just stumble upon a place out here. You really have to want to be outside.
Where are y'all from?
We're from, I'm originally from San Antonio, and Leah's from Dilley. But I grew up coming out to Garner State Park and camping. So I was that campers who were across from you. I was them. I would bring a freezer. I would bring all the stuff, bring all the cooking stuff. I had totes. And I started camping and staying out here and camping at Garner State Park. And I would, I started off with a little bit of things, and then every year it just got more. It got to grow to be more and more and more. And my tent ended up being one of those carport tents that you can buy from Tractor Supply. It's like 10 by 20.
That's funny.
That was the best setup. The cots and freezers and But I grew up coming out here, camping at Garner, and we were actually living in California, in San Jose, before we moved back here. And we were deciding on where we wanted to move. And we were doing basically the same thing y'all were. We were working and saving up for a house. So she was working at Target, and I was doing electrical work. I was actually working at the Apple building, the spaceship, whenever they were doing that one.
Wow.
And then every day I would get home, I would look for properties out here, and we were drawn to this area because I had the ties from camping at Garner State Park, and she had ties to Concan, which is, if y'all been to Central this Concan Center down here, her family would come out every summer and stay at a house there. So we're like, well, let's move here. So we found this place that it was the only one that we can afford, and we bought it, and the rest is history. So
did it have structures on it already?
Yeah, everything was here except for this A-frame that we're in right now, but it was just not taken care of. Like, it was just a disaster. So that's why nobody wanted to buy it, because it was so bad. But we didn't realize how bad it was. We just were excited that we could afford it.
Yeah, I think there were some ridiculously low offers that were made.
$12, Pat.
That is so cool, though.
1 penny. Yeah. $1. Price is right.
Yeah.
There's something about, like the compass taking you back home, you know what I mean? Like in life. And then when you go back home and you kind of create your own life there, and you build it for yourself and you try to figure it out, and you want more space and you want more, like, all these hills we're looking out right now, and it's just peace,
Yeah. Well, and going from that like super like stressful lifestyle, I used to live in New York, and then we were in Sydney, Australia, and then we were in San Jose, and you know how the cities can be, and just high stress lifestyles. Yeah. And then leaving that to come to a place like this where life is just slow, it kind of sounds like, you had to do that. Like, you had to quit the high stress job and kind of choose a more laid back lifestyle. And you start to hear more people that are doing that are wanting the chickens and the goats or whatever. And here y'all are kind of doing that. So.
Yeah, exactly. There have been so many times in this life that we're choosing that we think, oh gosh, what are we doing? Sometimes we think, oh, this is perfect. It's beautiful. We have no distractions. And other times we're like, wait, I'm 34 years old. You're 33 years old. We have nothing in some people's eyes. What is success? And then there's other times where we know, okay, we know why we're doing this because our mental health really is so much stronger. Have y'all felt that in your hardships of creating a brand new business out in the middle of nowhere where resources are hard to find?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. I think right now where I'm at is that balance of like, we need to grow, we need to build more, we need to expand, we need to figure out multiple streams of income, all the things, because we're grown-ups now and we have a baby. But then there's that other voice that's like, our lifestyle is so great. We have such a healthy lifestyle right now of just a stress-free environment for us, a stress-free environment to raise her in, and maybe that's worth more than a bigger business or more money. And so I'm kind of like have the little like devil and angel on my shoulder, like pulling me back and forth, But,
goosebumps.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
I think that follows you your whole life, and the question of having like more of a simpler path. And maybe it could be, if you do go down a road and it ends up everything working out and things like that. But
for me, I mean, are you spending the money on medical bills or, what are you working so hard for?
Exactly.
You don't need that much. Yeah.
Out here,
Gas to go find resources.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but that was I think what Leah was saying too, to touch on that, the whole back and forth. We sometimes just have to remind ourselves that the reason we moved out here is because when we would come out here before her and I met, it was, and this is going to go back to what you were saying, Amber. We had the best time out here. We would just be here with our friends or family, whoever we were here with. Whatever was back home was back home, and you unplug from that. And that's something that we tend to forget because we get caught up in the hustle bustle of the business. But we have to reel ourselves back and just remember that. Because a lot of people, and I'm sure y'all have met a lot of them now, that they're traditionalists. They come out here every year. It's the same time, it can be the same campground, the same camp spot.
Yep.
And they want that one, and they'll book it as soon as they're leaving. The last day, they're booking for the following year. That's kind of how it goes out here. There's a lot of people like that in campgrounds and at Garner State Park too. It's everywhere. I think that culture just kind of bleeds all throughout Concan and probably
I've never
Lakey,
seen anything like it.
It's pretty cool.
It's a really beautiful thing. So many people we meet, they say, we talk about 50 years they've been coming. So that means there's been 2.5 generations since then. And they really do love the continuity of creating new memories in the same space. And it's just something that we've never seen anywhere else.
I think there's like the beauty of this area is there's not a lot to do. And that's actually a good thing. Like you're not packing your schedule full of this like crazy itinerary because you're going to miss this because if you don't do it, you're never going to get to do it again. Or it's not like that. Like when you go to Rome, if you don't hit all the spots, you may never be there again. But when you come to Concan, especially if you're coming year after year, like you can float the river, you can do the campfire, but maybe you go out to eat a couple times, but you're really just forced to be with the people that you care about. You're forced to just unplug and hang out and slow down. And for those of us who live here full time, we kind of get the benefit of that year round. Even when we are stressed out or whatever in the summer, it's not like it is in the city when you have like this like crazy job and this like crazy traffic. And even our stressed out is a different kind of stressed out because it really is just slower. It's laid back. And
Who was it that was telling us, or maybe you were telling me that someone told you that, I think a guy said, or a girl or lady, she said, at home I get to be with my family, but out here I get to hang with them. And I thought that was really powerful because, you can be with your family at home, but you're getting, if you're the father, mother, the person working, whatever, the parent, or even your partner, if y'all are living in the city, you see each other, you're there with them, but you're going through the ins and outs of life, everyday life, work and school and whatever life throws at you. But then when you're out here, there's none of that.
Exactly.
And you're just hanging out. And
you
you're getting
can't
to hang
scroll.
out.
Yeah.
Right?
We're big believers in the vacation mindset. And that's probably why people stay so loyal and come back every year, because that feeling, it stays with you for a little bit. When you go on vacation and you kind of have that like, oh, I'm free. I'm like, I can finally like be myself, especially when you're working a stressful job or what have you. And you can kind of leave all that behind. And that feeling of like freedom still lingers. And that's kind of what me and Amber continually try to chase, I think, is that mentality of like, how can we live, not to run away from responsibilities or anything like that, because we still have a lot of stuff going on, running our YouTube channel and working these jobs and whatnot.
Remember when we originally left Florida to move to San Francisco? Our friend was just starting off her baking career, and she made us a cake, and it said "Vacay Forever," and that's still so true with us. We work really hard, but it's a vacation mentality when you're hanging out with people who, so many people at Riverbend on the Frio, they look forward to that 3, 5, 9 days the entire year. And the fact that we get to be there, it puts those vacation vibes really hard on us. And we want to, exactly.
But it also shows you like how can people are probably trying to figure out, how can I get my kids to put down those phones or the iPads like in our regular daily life, because that's what they're doing when they're out here. They don't have they don't have screens in their face. They're relaxing by the river. They're hanging out. They're throwing rocks into buckets, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Like, and they're having a good time doing it. Like, there's no distraction.
Right. And it's not even just kids. I mean, it's adults too. I've seen every single generation from 7 years old to 70 years old addicted to scrolling. And when you physically can't, you're going to throw a rock in a bucket and laugh and have a good time.
Yeah, just and be with the ones that you love, because ultimately that really is what matters the most, and like being able to live in the moment. Yeah, that's my piece on that.
How are y'all able to, like, I guess this is more of a practical question. Like, I don't think everybody can live, or they may not understand how to live a vacation mindset all the time. Like, how do you do that practically? Like, how do you not let all the other like little gremlins tell you like, no, this is not practical. You can't do this. Go get a real job. Or, like those little gremlins that might try to take that piece away from you. How do you maintain it?
We go jump in the river and we go swim and we're like, oh yeah,
Wait a
this
minute,
is
there's
lovely.
water in the river?
Yeah, and I swear, like not to be too emotional, I get emotional about things, but I'll just like float and I'll just like be on my back and I'll be looking up at the trees and the birds flying over and the gratitude that you can feel,
The water at Riverbend on the Frio right now is pure magic. It's different than it's been in previous years because people have the expectation of the 50 years that they've been coming that they can float going, 20 miles an hour down the river. Yeah. And that sounds fun, but it's not like that right now. What it is crystal clear, chilly, Frio actually, water and the bluest skies, the whitest clouds, the greenest trees, and no one else is in it.
Yeah. And I think having that gratitude really helps to, to answer your question is like to keep that mindset, to know, I think through those times of living stressful times, which we're not trying to avoid that, but being able to go back to that place of peace, and to know that like just believe in what we're doing, because no matter what and the things that we've done, the hardest decisions that we've had to make were the best decisions that we've made because of the change and the transformation that we've had from our own selves, gaining experience and strength and capabilities, even through this 6 months of being out here work camping. I've run more heavy machinery and done things I never really thought I could have, that now when we go into whatever, we got going next, or sometimes being out on the road, pulling a trailer, pulling a camper, there's certain things you just kind of like, can we go into that area? It's really remote, are we going to get stuck? But it's like being geared with the belief in your own capabilities is the hugest thing, And so I'm a really big believer in just getting out of your comfort zone and trying new stuff. Yeah. So trying new stuff, getting back to nature, those are kind of the ways that we keep that mentality up. And just keeping things new. I think sometimes it can just get so mundane, doing all the same stuff all the time.
Yeah, that's so just to go back a bit, we were talking about the river a little bit, but some of y'all may not know, if you come out to Concan religiously, then you obviously know that right now we're in a drought and there's a lot of parts of the river that are low, extremely low, like ankle deep low, or just completely dried up, rock bottom. So there's a perception that people have when they hear that the river is low, that there's no water in the river. But that's not the case. There's some parts that still have water, and I know several, Garner State Park, private
River Road access.
I get tongue-tied, but Riverbend,
Seven Bluffs
Crossing, also known as the Gravel Bar, Majors Crossing.
Yeah,
or
all the
Kennemer
major
350.
water crossings have water.
Yeah.
But so many people don't know that. And there's been a lot of people that unfortunately canceled their vacations and just because they had misinformation that there was no river or no water. And, y'all have the river in your backyard. Y'all are swimming every day.
Exactly. Riverbend on the Frio has 2 springs at it. So there's constantly new water being pushed in, and it's cold. It's the opposite of stagnant.
We swim there every day.
It's absolutely beautiful. So I wouldn't say that you can just swim anywhere, but Riverbend on the Frio is an exception. It's still pumping.
I love their river frontage. It reminds me. It just reminds me of Garner State Parks because of how shady it is. Garner State Park's not green like theirs is, but it just reminds me of Garner State Park, and it is a really awesome place to go and bring your RV. And I think there's also cabins there, correct?
There are 13 cabins. They're recently remodeled. They're super adorable, and we actually, instead of calling ourselves an RV park, we're going with a natural RV resort because many RV parks that we've seen and been to are cement slab after cement slab. And Riverbend on the Frio is not that. It is completely just trees everywhere, canopying over you, trees that are these shapes that I think, how did that tree get that shape? And how has it been there that many hundreds of years? So it really is its own entity out there. So we feel so blessed to to be experiencing Riverbend on the Frio right now.
That makes sense that they're, looking at it more from like a natural RV resort, because Wes, the owner, he knows so much about nature and wildlife, and just he's so interested in conservation, just from the few conversations we've had with him. So that's neat that that's kind of the route that they're going and the perspective they have.
They really care about preserving it and keeping it natural like that. People have even said, why aren't you doing this or that so you could get more money? Why don't you double your amount of sites, for the financial aspect? Because that's really not what they want. They want for their kids and their kids' kids to truly enjoy it once that time comes also.
Yeah, because right now we don't own this land. We just happen to be the stewards of it until the next generation takes it over.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that I'm so grateful to Wes that he has that mindset, and Robin.
I think we first met them it was some conservation meeting, maybe about dark skies or something. That's the first time we met them, I think.
Wasn't it the Concan community?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
It is a dark sky park.
I think
they definitely keep that a thing. So if you're coming to Riverbend on the Frio, come in the daytime when you can instead of at night, because there aren't lights. We're trying to let everyone see the stars.
Arriving with your camper and trying to pull in somewhere when it's totally dark is a little bit of a challenge. We've had people come in at like 2 a.m. and I'm like, ow, how did you do that without running into a deer? Because you all have so many deer out here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
deer and hogs.
Yeah.
There are tons of them out here. And if you don't see one, you'll see one eventually if you're going to be
car.
out here.
In front of your car.
Yeah, so
we only drive in the daylight.
Same. We don't, if it's we try to get everything we need done and be back home before daylight breaks. So but yeah, driving out here at night's not fun. But tell me about the stars. And y'all like watching the stars at night? And
we love it so much. It's so beautiful. Like we actually. It's so funny. You have these things when you're kids and like you just kind of take things for granted. They're out there in the beauty. And I grew up on a lot of land and a lot of space, totally got out of my comfort zone, went to the city, and then you just keep getting pulled back to how you grew up, what you're searching for in that land and that just space and privacy, right? And like the appreciation of having a dark sky, you can't see stars in a lot of other places.
No,
so to be able to we download that app where you can see, I'm talking about disconnecting, but that app where you can see like the stars and the constellations and you can see like satellites and all this stuff. I mean, it's amazing to think about what a big world is out there, right?
Yes.
We are just specks.
Teeny tiny little dust speck.
It's a miracle we're here.
It really is, truly.
And I take it y'all like trees as well?
I appreciate trees. I can't identify them the way that Wes can.
Yeah, Wes has been teaching
I love
me
them.
And I like quiz. I'm like, okay, this is this. I'm like, all the different like weeds that are popping up, all the different plants, and I'm like, oh, that's a cedar elm, and that's a, I try to remember everyone that I can because I do get into that stuff and all the bugs and even the stuff that we learn from the children that camp there. They're like. Getting crawfish out of the river with their bare hands, like this is an axolotl. And I'm like, I had to Google what is an axolotl. Wow. And I can't get that word out of my head now.
If someone's listening to this or watching it, they're probably going to Google what's an axolotl now.
It's like a salamander type thing in the water. And this kid found it and he's teaching me all about it. I mean, you never know. You can learn from everybody. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. As long as you're open to it, you can. Yep. But there was a really cool big tree tour that they used to do out here. Are you familiar with Leah?
No. We want to be.
Yes, he's a really interesting guy. He's a entomologist, which is a bug guy. So he studies bugs.
Julietta loves bugs.
Yeah, I grew up when I was a kid, Maybe not so much now in my 30s.
But he also is a folk singer. He sings like...
is he the one who does the campfire songs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We have a flyer for him in our office.
He used to host a big tree tour in the area because in this area we have at least 3 big trees. What are they called? Like top 10 biggest trees in Texas. Like there's a really one big mesquite tree. There's a big Texas redbud tree. Is that what it is?
We went past one on 1120. It had like a plaque outside of it, and it was like ridiculous looking, and all of the branches were just going out. Like the span of it was crazy.
Oak tree, live oak, but I don't know if that one's on it. It might be. And then the cypress tree.
There's a cherry tree, one of the biggest cherry trees in Texas. Just like
mountain laurel tree out here.
I've never seen a cherry tree at all.
Yeah, it's way up on a hill.
I'm trying to pick a cherry, y'all.
Yeah, I know. Yes. And I don't know if they're edible, and I have no idea if they're like poison cherry or I don't know. But they're huge. We have some of the largest trees in Texas, and there's a lot of those. In Concan? In Concan.
Like just probably within a 15-mile radius of Concan. In Uvalde County, I think for sure.
They must be hundreds and hundreds of years old, right?
They gotta be. They gotta be. Some of them you look and like the what's the one at Doug's place?
A cypress?
Cypress tree?
Yeah.
That one you need like 20 people with their arms stretched out just to go around it. It is huge. And then also right next to y'all.
Yeah.
That one is just as huge as, or if not bigger.
We heard about it.
It's bigger than the one at Doug's place.
I haven't seen it yet, but
we have one really cool tree at Riverbend that everybody takes their picture in front of. I wish I could tell you all about it. I just know that it's a huge tree and there's like a
little hole in it. You can get into it.
A V crease in it where you can go inside of it, and everyone takes their annual pictures there. They're just really majestic trees out here. I'd love to talk to Lee.
I'm just so surprised that this isn't like a snowbird area, you know? I mean, for the early winter, you know, and the fall is like amazing weather out here.
Yes.
It's a super affordable area too. I mean, as far as living at part-time would go, you know, I'm just amazed. And the weather stays nice. It's like
everybody comes in the summer, but like the weather in the fall is amazing. And even in the winter until it gets to be like February, that's when it gets really cold, but it's so nice, and people don't know that. I grew up an hour and a half away from here, and I had no idea that the leaves change. Like we would go, you know, to Tennessee or go to Maine to go see fall and to see the leaves change.
Foliage.
And it's happening here. I can't say I can never say foliage. I want to say foliage. I avoid the word. I say leaves change.
I think I know what your problem is. You start rolling your lips before you start talking.
I know, because I'm saying it in my head.
That's why you two are perfect pair.
Is it foliage or foliage?
Foliage.
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 Unless
foliage.
See, right? So I say the leaves change or see fall, and the leaves changed here. And were y'all here last fall or?
We got here in April.
So I wanted to go back to when you were asking about kind of what took us here too. So last year, we spent the whole year just traveling in our tiny camper. We went from East Coast to the West Coast, and then we went back again. And there's some unexplored areas that we still have on our list, right? You know, Montana, Idaho, but we'll get to that. And we spent a long time in just hill country, Texas. Like we were kind of stayed here for a while.
7 weeks.
Yeah, longer than we thought we were going. We thought we were just going to kind of pass through. My little sister's in San Antonio, so we were like visiting her. But then we were like, whoa, look at this place, you know. And there was just so much to explore, and we just fell in love with it. So one of our last places that we went to in Texas before we made our way over to New Mexico was this area. Actually, it was Garner. So we stopped here and we just kind of fell in love with that river so much.
And the Guadalupe, that was another one.
And we didn't think that we would be back here, but it was like we started applying for different work camping jobs, and we were just like, wouldn't it be amazing if we could go back to the Frio? Like, it's so crazy to think about things in your life when you have no idea really what's around the corner and how it kind of takes you back to it.
Yeah.
And now part of me feels like home here.
Yeah, we do want to come in the fall, and a lot of what we're doing on social media, and I saw that you are too, actually. You thought like 3 days before me I was going to post about how beautiful it is here in the fall. We want to cater a lot to even digital nomads because they don't know about it out here. Yeah. And those months that you were just speaking of, except the 3 busy months of the year, the rest, so gorgeous, so untapped, so untouched.
Yeah.
Completely. And so much cheaper too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because everyone wants to come into summer, so everyone has like high peak rates in the summer. But then after that, just drops, we drop our rates, and I'm sure Riverbend on the Frio
Yes.
does too. I think everyone does. And we also have a 3-night minimum in the summer, and we changed that to 2 nights when the summer's over.
So does Riverbend.
And we open up for tent camping because that's a more like obviously an more enjoyable time to do tent camping. But during the off season,
Tent camping is
have
allowed. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Tent camping is allowed at Riverbend on the Frio from October 1st to April 1st, except spring break. So a lot of people love tent camping, and that's their definition of camping and tradition. So during those months, it just makes more sense for us. When it's this hot outside, people are going to have generators and air conditioners and
Yeah, and we got here in March, and because we got here mid-March, it was like so nice that whole time. March, April, May, it was like hot
Beautiful.
afternoons, cool mornings. Like it was a dream, and there still wasn't very many people.
Yeah.
And the river
I
is
was
the
like,
same
what?
temperature all year, isn't
Yeah.
it?
For
I
the
feel
most
like
part,
it
Yes,
is.
Yeah.
it is.
And
It's not too
there's
cold
even
for
a
us.
code, they do a code plunge on the Frio for the new
The
year.
polar bear plunge.
Or,
Have you done it?
No, absolutely
Come
not.
on now,
I'm not fun.
2023 is
I'm
gonna
not
be
fun
it.
in that kind of way. No. I took pictures of other people doing it, and I was like, "Yay, you're so cool!"
So Amber, one of the individuals that we had on the podcast, she did it, and she stayed. So, long story short, she stayed with us and it was New Year's time.
Yes.
And she somehow found out about the polar plunge, and I think she told us about it, and then you mentioned, hey, if she wouldn't mind if we can go see her.
Yeah, I asked her if she wanted us to go and take pictures of her because she was
Oh,
by
that's-
herself, and it was like this big thing that she was doing, and I thought she might want pictures of
Yeah.
herself doing it, and so we went to cheer her on because I'm not brave enough to do that, and so we cheered her on and took pictures of her,
And it was freezing cold.
Yeah.
And her, along with like 10 others, jumped in. Couple of kids. Brett wasn't there, was he?
no,
The park,
no,
park
ranger.
Park ranger was there.
yeah.
But
Was
yeah,
she
it
so
fun.
invigorated?
I think
Was
so.
she pumped?
I think so.
yeah.
They wanted towels real quick after though.
I bet.
Like as soon as they
I'd
got
have
out.
my robe at the ready.
Yeah.
I'd be like, please.
Yeah.
A heated robe
You don't
for
want to do it? You're not into it?
I'm not, but I'm kind of like, you know what? I just want to just try it. I think I might just want to try it one day. I don't know when that day.
Do it.
And
know.
Luna and
Just to
I will
say
be
I
there
did
to
it.
cheer you on.
I know people are out here like, they do their ice plunges all the time for their health and stuff. And you got a river right out there during
Yeah.
wintertime. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You don't need a bathtub full of ice.
No, not at all.
No. In San Francisco, the water's cold all year. Even if it's so hot outside, the water is to the point where you need a wetsuit or else
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
crazy.
feel your body. And they call themselves the polar, no, what
They're
is
the Dolphin Club.
the Dolphin Club.
Those are the people that actually go from, that little area on the north part of, I can't think of what it's called right now, the north part of San Francisco, and they go to Alcatraz.
to
They can
Alcatraz.
swim to Alcatraz.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's the north part of it?
There's like Fisherman's
Oakland?
Wharf.
It's North
There's
Beach.
Fisherman's Wharf up there, and there's
Okay.
a little like swim club, and there's people always swimming in that area, which is a little
Wow.
more cooler or warmer because it's the bay. But
All
yeah.
you need is a Speedo and a swim cap. You're in.
It's
You're in.
freezing though. Like I've done it a few times without a wetsuit, and it's like your eyes are just like your pupils just get so tiny, and you feel crazy. It makes you feel crazy when the water's that cold.
Wait, you swam from there to
Oh no
Alcatraz?
no
Okay.
no
Or just
no!
swam.
Don't look at me. No, I've like swam in the ocean, without a wetsuit in the
Okay.
Pacific Ocean, but
But spring
Ah, it's
water is a
freezing.
dream. I think that since you said it's pretty much the same all year, it's really the outside temperature that's hard for them, right? Doing the penguin club. What did you call it?
Polar bear.
Polar bear. An Arctic animal club.
Yeah.
I would try it one year though. This Amber here, I would try
Yeah?
it too. Heck yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
So we
I
have a
think so.
question for y'all about running your in between. What has been, some of your greatest joy and some of your greatest challenge when running this business?
The easy one, the joy is being able to be with each other, the flexibility to just kind of go whenever we need to or feel like it, not having to really answer to anyone but ourselves. That's one of the best joys about running the in-between. And,
Do y'all have
working
any
together.
other manager or any other help? It's really just y'all?
We do have an angel named Tracy who cleans for us, and when we're gone, she'll take on a lot. Like, my job is outside of social media and that type of stuff. My job here is I feed the goats, and like I put the little thank you
Garden.
notes in the and I garden. So when I'm gone, she'll do those things for us. But so we just have her, and and so it's incredible because we get to work together, but we have a lot of flexibility to be able to leave. And now that we have a baby, it's so cool because like we're here and we tag team it all day long. Like, we take turns with her, and that's amazing. But yeah, that's definitely the joy. I think the hardest part was that first year when we bought, this property was an absolute dump, and I cried and cried when we bought it, and I thought there's no way we're going to be able to like turn it into anything, and we just spent every penny that we have. And we closed right before Memorial Day, which is opening season, and we closed right before that. And so we got one of the houses cleaned and up, and then we moved into one of them, and it was disgusting, and we're cleaning it to try to get it up so we could move into another one and get it up and listed.
Wow.
And so that in all that time we didn't have a cleaner, so we were also doing the turnover and the rentals and everything while we were doing getting the houses ready. And so that summer was just, it was into, and we were selling manganados in the front yard with a little like table and a little tent being like, hi guys, come buy manganados from us. So it was just, that was really hard. But we were living on so much adrenaline because we had this big dream. So it was just like, we weren't thinking about how hard it was. Now I look back, I'm like, how the heck did we do that? But
Isn't that crazy?
adrenaline.
Right. And
Totally.
we feel the same way with our endeavors. I look back and you're asking, well, how did you, keep that drive? We were so passionate about it. It sounds like just the way that the same way that you are, where you look back, you don't even know how you did it. How was that even possible?
Yeah.
You just wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
And to have your life partner to be able to be the person to bring you up when you're down and just to balance. Beautiful word. Yeah.
And I think
that's
it's
amazing.
Whenever you put yourself in a situation where you do not have any choice, you have to succeed.
Yep.
There's no, you can't have all the noise going on. You have to quiet it down because all that self-doubt, all that everything. You've taken the greatest risk, and then you're like,
you have
there's
to make
no
it
choice
work.
here.
There's no turning back. You got to make it sink or swim.
Yeah.
And I think another one of the biggest challenges for us living out here is all the resources, like the lack of resources. Like you have to drive 30 minutes to Uvalde to get things, food, and then in the beginning we were needing a ton of supplies, paint, screws, nails, wood, like materials, furnishings. Trash bags and cleaning products and everything that you use that goes along with running rentals. We were having to drive, and then eventually we were we kind of got on a good ordering route with Amazon, and kind of got the hang of that. And then once we got that in place, it made things easier because then it kind of cut back on the driving. So Amazon really pulled in for us and helped out a lot. It was huge for us ordering from Amazon.
Well, I feel like when you live in the country, there's so much beauty to it, but I think there's so much hardship that a lot of people don't realize. Having things like water and, good electricity and all that, and finding people in trades that can, help you with this or that. It's difficult, because they have to drive from wherever they're coming from too, Or
like good food, organic food.
Yes.
We go to San Antonio to get our groceries because the HEB in Uvalde just doesn't have as much because it's so small. And so that's the hard part for us is food.
That's a sensitive topic for me right there.
Me too.
Let me get started. So how crazy is it that I can get better groceries
Right?
at Walmart instead of HEB? HEB is like the staple grocery store in Texas. Like if you say HEB or
so
Texas,
much.
they kind of go hand in hand. HEB, everyone loves HEB. Everyone grew up, especially millennials. They grew up with HEB, and that's the place to go. You get your groceries. They have the best grocery selection, but for some reason in Uvalde and even in Hondo, they're just small, and they don't really cater what
So
they have.
This is our plea to HEB. Please give us a bigger HEB, please.
Yeah, I went so far as to ask a manager that question, like, why is it that y'all, and I just say, hey, I have a question for you. He's like, yeah. I was like, why is it that y'all don't have good produce, good food selection here, but Walmart does just up the road? And he's like, well, I guess it's just like a money thing, it just doesn't make sense for them to do it because they, so I was like, yeah, I get it, but I still don't agree with it.
But hopefully in this area too, I know with gardening and things like that, and like having like little farmers markets, that would be kind of a cool thing to sprout up in this area. Get some there's ranches all over the place, fresh meats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We started a garden right when we first moved to Riverbend on the Frio. We were so excited. Wes and Robin said, hey, let's go to Dora's, which let's plug Dora right now.
Yeah. Dora, we love you.
Dora's nursery is a dream. We got so many amazing plants. We started growing zucchini.
We had them popping off though. They were doing good. And we didn't have a whole lot of plants really, but we had a lot of yellow squash and we had zooks that were coming through.
Tomatoes.
We had a few peppers. They weren't going as well, but
I thought we were going to OD on squash and zucchini. I was so excited, right? Yeah. But then we didn't have enough water to be able to
it got
grow
real
them.
hot.
Yeah, it got so hot that we didn't have that surplus. So now we're resorting to going to the grocery store, and it is just so disappointing because we want to eat the healthiest stuff and the best quality, the least pesticides. Oh, Luna, we love you.
Luna, are you hungry? Is it time to eat, Tom?
But especially coming from us foodies and health conscious people, we want good food
and good selection. I love having different options, not just like one or two, but a variety of options of one thing. I like variety.
Get a little in-between co-op going on or something. And then people nearby can pay into it. Y'all own it and get some good stuff. Organic stuff.
That would be great. And I think that's something to write up Leah's alley.
Mm-hmm.
But, someone out here, speaking of farmer's market, they set up like a self-serve farmer's market. And it was going out like towards Utopia.
Really?
What is it, 1050? So they just parked a horse trailer, I believe that's what it was, and then they kind of decked it out with their produce.
Awesome.
And they had a sign, and you take whatever you want, and you leave the money there. And no one was there, and then it was just like a little farmer's market out in the middle of nowhere.
Incredible.
Yeah.
How long was that around for?
2 summers, maybe.
Wow.
The farmer's market.
They're not doing it this year.
How long did they do it?
Last summer.
Just once? Okay. I thought it was
Get
2.
them back out here.
We've only seen one other place in our travels that has done the honor system like that. And it was in Pennsylvania. What was that town called?
It was a little Amish town in Lancaster,
Amish
Pennsylvania.
town. Yeah, Lancaster.
And you go up and you put your money in a box, right? And you grab whatever you need. You get mint tea, and they call it bologna.
But it was high quality, okay? It wasn't like bologna.
It was. No, it was the real deal. It was really good.
But that was the first time we had ever seen the honor system. And so we just love that. And I think, that's how growing vegetables should be. We should focus our meals around the vegetables.
Local, seasonal. Yeah, it'd be lovely to live in that type of life.
I thought that I was going to have my little farm and I was going to can my own stuff. I canned our pears one time. It was so much work. I never did it again. Never did it again.
We do have a pear tree, a plum tree, an apple.
Peaches, apple, fig.
But the peaches
haven't produced. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm such a wannabe, crunchy farmer. I try, but I don't try hard enough because it's hard.
It is a lot of work.
Grow your own food, and half the time I don't know what I'm doing right. I don't look it up. All I have to do is YouTube it, but I don't. I'm just like, I'm going to throw these seeds out and just see what happens. And I found a term on TikTok called chaos gardening.
Oh.
And that is 100% the way that I garden.
There
chaos
you go.
gardening. I
What,
just
set it and forget it?
you just throw, you throw seeds out, you plant stuff next to each other.
See what
Maybe it'll work,
happens.
maybe it won't. You don't,
You're like,
that's
if the
what I do.
universe wants this to grow, she will grow.
100%. Absolutely. And I have stuff sprout up all the time. Like, oh, here's something. We'll see what it's going to be.
I feel like those kind of plants that would come up, it's like, oh, okay, that really was meant to be. You know, otherwise you're trying too hard for something that doesn't want to live there.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think we should wrap this up. We appreciate y'all coming out and
Thank you
being
for
on the
having
podcast.
us.
It's been really fun having y'all on. What was the name of your YouTube channel and any other socials that if someone wanted to look y'all up and follow y'all or contact y'all?
Absolutely. On every social media platform, we are Honey I Roam. HoneyIRoam. Like instead of Honey I'm Home, Honey I Roam. So we are on YouTube. That's our focus. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're even on Twitter now, okay?
Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah.
We're all
And
over the place.
Exactly. And also follow Riverbend on the Frio not on YouTube, but they're on our YouTube videos on Honey I Roam. But Riverbend on the Frio is on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
And their handle is Riverbend on the Frio?
Riverbend on the Frio.
Okay,
You got
and they're
it.
open year round.
They're open year round.
And also they also have disc golf there that they I believe that after the summer y'all close off some campsites and then have a 9-hole disc golf course there.
So we have a 9-hole disc golf course all year round at Riverbend on the Frio. It's actually on an app that I should know the name of, but people find it and you can play even if you're not staying. You pay $7 to play. Most people who come in to play have their own discs, but we do rent them. Any of our guests are welcome to use the discs. And then in the off season, their plan is to open the other 9 holes to have a full 18-hole disc golf course.
Yeah, and it's really pretty. It's around like our pond and a bunch of natural areas. And everybody that comes in from, just to go play disc golf, they come at like 3 p.m. It's the hottest time of day. And I'm like, you're tough. Disc golfers are tougher than you ever think, okay?
And they come back the next day.
They do. It's really cool. And it's hard. Okay, disc golf. Have you played that?
No, I've been wanting to, and I told Wes, hey, you need to teach me. I'm sold. Let's do it. And he's like, all right, come on over. So
it's fun, but it's difficult, yeah.
Yep, so Riverbend on the Frio has 41 campsites, 13 cabins, open year-round, off-season and peak season, of course. Beautiful private river access, so y'all definitely have to come out.
And a gift shop.
Yep.
Super cute gift shop. We have a new manager named Shannon. She has amazing taste, and she's got all new swag. Those cups that we brought, they're called Silly Pints, so they're silicone. They're safe to drink out of, microwave, if you microwave, all the things. And we brought you those today. One glows in the dark.
Yes, thank you. Very cool.
Of course, those are from Wes and Robin. We have all kinds of awesome swag, so definitely come check it out.
Yeah, come on out, folks. And thank y'all again.
Thank you so much for having us. We had a
hope to have
blast.
y'all back again,
that was
too.
awesome. Thank you.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hasta luego.
Bye.
Hasta luego.